Welcome to a beautiful day in January on Vancouver Island. Today I'm going to show you how I prune my knockout rose bushes. All I'm going to be using are a pair of standard Fiskars pruners, not sponsored, just my favorite pruner. And I probably won't use, but I have just in case, my loppers. I don't often use these, but if I have a really difficult branch to cut, I may use these as well. Definitely not required, but if you have them, you might want to have them on standby. Step 1 in my pruning process is simply cutting the stems significantly to reduce the size. Now we're going hard on these roses. We're not babying them. They're getting the full let's call it rejuvenation prune today. And that's something I do every year. I don't hold back on my roses. So we're gonna start nice and low on our bush, and we're working from the bottom and making some pretty significant cuts. I'm gonna start right on this branch here, and I'm gonna go very low. I like to think, how low can you go? Go as low as you can go. Here's all of what I took off on my first cut. I'm going to start giving the rest of the bush hard pruning, and then we're going to do the beautification afterwards. Next, I'm going to tackle some of the larger size branches with my loppers. I might be able to do that with my pruners, but since I have them, I'm just gonna go for it. This won't be difficult. We're gonna go right down to here and watch out that it doesn't hit you when you cut it. It's a good chunk of rose right there. And I'm just gonna continue throughout the plant and do the same procedure. So there's a quick and easy way to reduce the size of the rose, and now we're gonna make it pretty. Next, I'm going to cut off all of these little spindly branches. I want them all gone. I don't care where I'm cutting. I'm actually hoping that these don't come back. So I'm not cutting by any buds or anything like that. This is just cutting to remove and to make the plant healthier. And I'm going to do that throughout this whole plant. Next, I'm going to remove as much of the dead, decaying leaves, branches, matter from the previous growing season, because you want your roses to have pretty much no decay going on around them. They're gonna pick up all kinds of problems if there are leaves and other materials decaying. So clean up all the surrounding area, clean up your bushes, get them as pristine as possible. And put on some good gloves if you haven't already, because this is the time you're going to get poked. Now that I've done a pretty thorough job of removing the decayed matter, I'm going to go through one more time and now do a little more detailed work. Now I'm going to look a little carefully at the bush and remove any of the branches that are crossing one another. As you can see here, we're going to select just one of these to keep and remove the other one because we don't want our branches crossing. So I'm going to remove this one right here with a nice clean cut. There we go. So now I'm going to scan the rest of my rose bush and look for any more branches that could be crossing and get rid of them, as well as anything as well as other spindly branches we haven't yet removed. The last thing I'm going to do is take my loppers and give some of the really woody stems quite a trimming, pretty close to the ground. So we've got a couple really woody stems here. I'm just going to go for it. It's a nice cut right there. Nice and woody. I think there was a little bit of life, but a little bit of dead in there too, so a fresh start for this bush. Here's a little look of the completed pruning job on my double pink knockout rose. If you want to see how I fertilize my roses, I will put a link in the description below. If you want to see how I fertilize my roses for optimal bloom production, I'll put a link to my rose fertilizing video in the description and possibly in the cards. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this inspires you to get out there and prune your roses. If you're a beginner, don't hesitate to take off more than you think is okay, because roses are very vigorous and very forgiving. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you very soon in another video. Happy gardening!